This is The Visitor in the Woods by Paula Kyle. While waiting for the second cross-country group to begin and posed in the entrance of the woods, standing on the trail the bikes would enter, and listening for the first group to start their engines, I noticed what appeared to be a bird swooping in from exactly where the bikes enter. It grabbed my direct attention. After the cool entrance it made, I realized it was a huge butterfly. It was coming into the woods directly centered over the trail in a peaceful floating motion, and swooped around the corner that the bikes would take. I watched until it went out of sight. I even wondered if it was a drone because it flew so heavenly, but more importantly, noticing how perfectly centered the moth stayed over the trail. It caught my attention as I watched and couldn't even lift my camera. Immediately after it was out of sight, the first group of bikes entered the trail in single file, and then many more followed in what appeared to be a calm, constant flow. Driving back to the sinkholes, my bewildered mind stayed on this butterfly and the beautiful, peaceful flight it had over the trail. Rich and I got on the road, headed for Ohio, and I shared this visitor observation with him, and his first words were, "Paul Hardy on his last ride." He explained Paul had helped setting up the cross country and shared with me about Paul's sudden passing. The goosebumps I already had tripled. It all made sense, and what a beautiful thought that he was with all of you in spirit for the last ride on those beautiful trails he helped prepare for this race that was dedicated to him. Rich and I have few details of the passing of your Mid-Atlantic friend Paul Hardy, and after sharing this experience with Rich, we knew we had to pass the graceful floating visitor in the woods story with all you that had attended the Memorial Day race for Paul and at Ashcraft Farms. May he rest in peace. Oh my, I just read your beautiful butterfly story. It took my breath away. Paul was my youngest son. He was an amazing and powerful force of life. This weekend was made very special by the guys he rode with, and leading the parade was my grandson, Gage. Paul's oldest son. Next in line was Paul's youngest son, Lucas. Driving a side-by-side, this large group of amazing riders, their families and friends, are a very special group of people. Thank you for sharing your story. I'm sure my son was watching over them all. How ironic it is that your name is also Paula. I have chills just saying that. Sometimes you just know when you read something that it needs to go in to something special, and I hope this video is just that. Enjoy. Well, folks, we're back. If you didn't realize who that was Mason Grove on Paul Hardy's 450 Husky in that last slideshow. That was the first and last slide of the thing, and kudos for him and his family for letting them take one last ride on that bike. About ready to get this show started at Ashcraft Farm, and it has been way too long, almost a month it feels like. Charlie Walker will steal the whole shot out there. Craig Lowry, Randy Grove, Mr. 861 here. That'll be Mr. Brand. They are getting after it. But I think I got something for them out there here. The course is a lot like it was last year. And you would not believe, but we put down, I swear, 30 or 40 of them 275-gallon water totes on the track, and you can't tell. Been super hot. It must be about 100 degrees out. That's no exaggeration. And the water evaporation rate is just off the charts. So it's dusty. No two ways around it. They did try to put some down in between Moto 1 and Moto 2. It helped. But this first Moto was it was dusty and hard to get around. I'm on the old 390 Husky up here in the first moto. I'm going to show you the first moto and the 15th moto. That's on the KTM. My two best motos. And both of them are good. They're really good. I just love this track coming out racing it. It doesn't get much better than what you get whenever you come up here to Brian Ashcraft's farm. I'm telling you, this place is rocking and rolling on the weekend whenever they get this party started. Now, I am trying my best to get around Mr. Grove here. I'm going to try the inside line here. That was off camber. You can't see the steepness of this hill. We're sliding down over the hill here. It's going to jump down over. Nice little double here. Down into the bottom. And then it's second gear. Shifting gears, coming back up out of this mess. I got Charlie Walker's number. He's no slouch by any freaking means, and I am on the ragged edge trying to get around him. But I gotta wait. I can't do it. I can't get enough power to the ground on this off-camber stuff. Finally starting to flatten out now, coming back into that first turn. I ain't gonna lie to you. Going down that straight stretch down around there, I mean, you had the knee squeezed in on the tank, and you were just kind of like letting it float underneath you. Gonna kick that cone out. Nice try, Charlie. I just ran that sucker over, and that's all she wrote. Down over this, the bike lightens up a little bit on that little bit of a jump there. I think he loses a little bit of traction. I can close the gap a little bit down in through here. Now, Craig has left the building, but I don't think that's the last you're gonna see of him. Trying to make her way back up out of this cloud of a dust storm here. Up to the top, back into the regular grassy part of the track. Sometimes I think I'm going on blind faith, coming back up on the one nice jump they got here in the middle of the field. I'm sending it. Third, fourth gear, just let her rip. We're snaking our way back up here toward the house. Second lap, in the books. I'm gonna try showing Charlie a fender here. He knows I'm there. He can hear this Husky. I'm gonna give him a little room on the inside there, but believe me, he is gonna finish right behind me. I'm gonna grab that position off of him, and then what you don't see is old Craig and Mr. 861 Brent up in front of me there, duking it out. But what ends up happening up here is such a fluke thing for Craig. He has this baby in the bag, for the most part, on that old XC500 Husky. He had the carburetor cap come loose on him. Backed its way right out, and the motor started revving to the moon. He had no choice but to hit the kill switch. Shut her down, figure out what was the matter with it, and left everybody by. That's one moto he's not going to get back. I'm not sure if I looked over at him or not, but I'll show you right where he had to shut it down at. And then Brant's going to come away with the win. Now right up here on this off-camber, I kind of wish we would have took that ribbon and either went 5 feet left or 5 feet right. Either give us a little more room to tiptoe across the top of that little plateau, or send it all the way down around that off-camber and see who wants to dig in. I think it would have pushed that line out a little bit further. It wouldn't have been so tight on the inside, and maybe you could have went down to the bottom maybe and then got a run on it and came back up around somebody. I don't know. That's just me hindsight kind of thinking through things. But it looked like everybody in that turn just did that. Look straight ahead. Right there's Craig. That really sucked for him. So I got Jason, or I'm not sure if it's Jason Brandt or not, or John Brandt, but on that 861 out in front of me, and I am not going to have a prayer for him, but everybody else, I got lucky and fortunate to get around on this course and had a pretty good first moto, considering all in all. I didn't have the greatest of starts, so I was happy to start out the first moto of Moto 1. Take a quick look back and see where I'm at with everybody. I think I got things secured in here pretty good. I can kind of just protect that inside line and keep her moving. Down over the hill one last time. Like I said, just protecting those inside lines. Now the next moto is going to be the KTM. It's going to be the second moto of Moto 15. And we'll see how that all plays out. I was in the second moto of the first moto on the Husky. Went out in the first turn. They just put water down. It mud splattered perfectly on both sides of my goggles. Couldn't see anything. Stalled the bike. That was the end of that race. We're going to jump right into that KTM here real soon now. Getting that pin ready. The girls are up there turning that sign sideways. There goes Mr. Likens on the hole shot. And I needed this to get by Jones here on 642. I needed to get by him on the start because I knew that he was fast. He was on a 125 when I looked over at him, and he could let that baby rip. I think I had something for him. Come out in third place, and I felt good about that. And I've raced Mr. Likens before, and I knew that I was going to have my A game going on to have anything at all in the bag for him. He's not my class, but I like to beat anybody that's in my moto. So, as you can tell, I am just trying to hang on to whatever wind they're providing and catch a little downdraft. I'm gonna hit this. And Howard Grove, if you're watching this, wait till the end of the thing. I left the little bit of a blooper in there for you, and it doesn't look as bad from my side of it. You'll see where I about go out over the bars. I'm up over the bars too far, and I rode the front wheel for a good 5 seconds. But should have just revved her up a little bit, I guess, as we talked about earlier. I'll tell you, coming by all these fans and stuff that were sitting by the fence in all this heat, that is always a sketchy area. It's kind of off camber. It's got 2-3 layers to it there. Pretty sure the cows come up there and they've got some walking paths up that way, and I am starting to close the gap up here. I'm feeling like I just got to catch a break here because he's not going to make many mistakes. Right here, I'm thinking every time I come down around this turn, I think I got a half a chance. My bike's as strong as what his is. And I always felt like I took that turn coming down into the start-finish line just a little bit too much to the inside. I should have rounded that off a little bit. Made that turn just a little bit easier. I am on the edge right here. I am good. Look at this. I mean, he just takes off. But I'll tell you what, if you got that carrot out in front of the donkey, man, he's freaking pushing me right onto the edge. And right here's what I'm talking about. See how we all like take that upper line, and you're about half flat tracking it coming out of that turn. This is a good race, folks. I don't know if you can feel the adrenaline pumping through my veins, but I am pushing it. Gonna try to hit that tiny bit of a berm build up in there to try to catch a little traction coming out of there so these guys don't walk away. And we are in third, fourth gear, just cruising up through here. I think they added a scoop full of dirt onto that little bit of a jump right there, and it made about a perfect. If you were hitting it fast enough, you were catching some serious air coming off that. That's for sure. It was a great little jump. Send you straight out. Heading back to the house. All the canopies are up. People trying to duck into the shade where they can. Go back, grab herself a cold adult beverage, and sit back and enjoy the races. Try not to get dusted out too bad. Had a good turnout. They said it was like 170 people here for the motocross this weekend, and no surprise. They run a freaking good show. Jamie was on the other side, running back and forth with his motorcycle, telling the next 3 classes coming up. It was smooth. With Wally and Keith up there helping out on the line. Had the girls up there in the heat and they'd jump into the side-by-side to grab a little air conditioning in between. The girls at the scoring station were real troopers. It was just an all in all, a well-run show this weekend, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. As you can tell, this is the last lap. You know I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna push it hard as much as I can. Them guys are starting to step it out a little bit. And I feel like I'm just as fast as they are. I'm just making a mistake or two here and there. And I'm wondering if I should have changed and got a new back tire. I don't know if it would matter in this dust or not. It might have for sure. Maybe cut a couple new squares in the old back knobby would have maybe helped a little bit. We're gonna slide down around here one more time around this jump. And if you caught somebody that did not like the jump, that was a place you could make up some ground. But these guys in front of me are no strangers to hitting a little jump in the field every now and again, let me tell you. Because I couldn't close anything up on these guys. See, right there. Slid out on me a little bit. It's gonna slide out on me a little bit right there too. There was my wife Bean cheering me on the four-wheeler. She'd run over here on the four-wheeler, cheer me on, and then duck back out and go into the air conditioning and then the camper and hide out for a little while and get out of this heat. Well, folks, that's how we're gonna finish up. This is all the closer I can get to them. Great racing. I'm gonna end up 2, 2, 2, and 2. No matter if I was on the Husky, if I was on the KTM, I just couldn't get any better in second place this weekend. I'm fine with it. That's good. It's all good racing. That's the only reason I'm here for is to get myself, get that adrenaline pumping and get out there. Checkered flag. How about it? Yeah, that's right.
Good race, buddy.
Howard, this is just for you. This is that little bit of a blooper I got stuck in here. This is what it felt like from the driver's seat. Out over, oh yeah. My butt was puckered.